Okay, let's address the first question here. Miyamoto says, male 18 from India, facing HOCD from last 1.5 month. It all started because one of my friends calling me gay because I complimented another friend. These thoughts are not stopping. Well, that is what the brain amygdala system of protection of yours does by becoming overactive and oversensitive to protect you something that is not in line with your values. Obviously, you're not gay. If you were gay, you would be jubilant about this. And you would not find a contradiction between your identity, your values, your lifestyle, and what the brain is suggesting. Just like if the brain puts a thought in your head that you're heterosexual, you would notice it and you'd say, yeah, great. There would be no repetitive thoughts, images, discomfort, anything. Yeah. But when there is something not in line with your values and you become alarmed, and sometimes in your case and many other people's cases, over alarmed because you're overly actually diehard heterosexual. And your system is trying to defend you against some kind of an intrusive entity. That intrusive entity could be a person trying to hit on you, could be your brain, your thoughts, images. These are all part of inclusiveness. So that is a normal behavior of an abnormal brain like ours when they are overprotective and trying to defend what your values are versus what the brain is suggesting. And having said that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you praising or complimenting on another same gender's looks. This is normal. Human being is interested in complimenting things that are well designed, look good, pleasant, because at the same time, not that it is just our nature to appreciate good looking things, good looking handbag, good looking horse, good looking dog, good looking person, human being, same gender or not. So how come is it that when I say, oh, that horse looks beautiful, doesn't mean I'm a horsosexual. It just means I saw something good looking and I made a comment about it. And I'm designed to notice what's good looking, what's not good looking. It's simple. So noticing a good look of another male, if you're a male, is perfectly normal. Part of the way things should be. Not noticing it, that means you're stupid. You can't tell the difference between good design, good looking, or not look good looking. Just as we notice good looks of a woman versus a look that we're not so fond of, we can also see good looks of a man and a look of a man that we don't think is well designed. So, and then we also at the same time proud to see and happy to see a good looking man because that's our gender, that's our species. That makes me look more important because men are good looking. We all like to be good looking. So when I see a good looking man, I say, oh, great. It's one of me, one of us. It's good looking. It's like we're all, like tennis, and one of us becomes a real good player or champion or win a tournament. We're also great. We're cheering for that achievement. As simply as that. It's then very normal to notice somebody else's good look, same gender or not. And Miyamoto says, whenever I try to ignore, I think I'm accepting thoughts, and I have read that you become what you think. Who was the fucking idiot bullshit that put that sort of thing? You become what you think? Well, I think I'm a horse. Oh, maybe there, but no. But that doesn't change it. Well, I think what I become. Well, I think I'm a doctor. No, unless I put the work in and go study for God knows how many years, and then become a weak-minded idiot follow the WHO and all the narratives of government, I won't be a doctor. There are new criteria. So unless you meet all those criteria, you can't just think yourself to be a doctor. That's bullshit. Well, I have 3 toes extra, or 3 fingers extra. I become what I think. Still 5. That nonsense crock of bullshit that they put. Where do you read? I read this. Like anything that is written somewhere is what? Gospel? Truth? How? I can write something here. You're an asshole. Here. Are you an asshole now? So stop the nonsense. But that's particularly the hallmark of HOCD, OCD, doubting disease. OCD, French call it doubting disease. Of course, as you know, they don't say it that way. They say the doubting disease. So HOCD is the ultimate doubting disease. It doubts your own gender. But understand, what is the source of it? It's the brain. It's not you. Because you're not the brain. Brain is not you. Brain has its own goddamn brain. Brain is a tool. You use it to learn something, to calculate something, to figure out something, to promote something, to design something, invent something. It's a tool. It's an apparatus. It's not your intellect. It's not a smart. It's a machine. Thought manufacturing machine. And when you're not using it, it uses its own apparatus to make thoughts based on all the stuff that has seeped through ideas. Somebody told you gay. That's something it's going to use to make thoughts about it. It is not an intellect. When Dr. Speary and actually Dr. Penfield of Montreal, I think it was 1960s, many of these doctors, neurosurgeons, have done thousands of operations on brain in order to do research and find data in regarding to what can be localized in brain. And as you may have read, when you get into the skull, that's painful. So you have anesthesia and all that. But once you get into the brain doesn't have pain nerves. So you can't feel a pain. That's why often in their operations, the patient was awake and helping the surgeon to do his research and do whatever he's doing. So, for example, they could stimulate part of the brain, like in the back occipital point, and the eyes would register a certain sight. They said the patient would say, "Yeah, I see some light." Or if they would stimulate another part of the brain, the motoring part, and the limb would move. Or they would stimulate speech center. They could localize speech center when the person would make a sound by stimulating that part of the brain. So they could localize speech center, movement, motoring center, the sight center, but they could never localize intellect center, compassionate center, love center, math center, mathematics center. They could never localize political thinking center. They could never localize things that is beyond a certain number of things that they could have found localization in the brain. Intellect wasn't any of them. They could never localize intellect. Consciousness, they could never localize consciousness center. So they found out that there are aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot reach. So brain is not you and you're not the brain. So when brain comes up with all these images and thoughts and suggestions, it's the brain. It's not you. It may think it's something, but it's making all these thoughts. You are the one who consider the brain as being something more than a tool, because it creates something, but it is just a tool. Just like your liver secretes some kind of a bile, it doesn't mean that it's something other than liver. No, it's still an organ that has been put into your body to help enhance your abilities, regulate something. Kidney filters the blood, but the enzymes and the things that it produces to do that does not mean it's anything more than kidney. That's what kidney does. Brain coming up with the suggestions, images, and thoughts doesn't make it something more than what it is: a tool, apparatus, an organ. Its job is to produce thoughts. Those thoughts are not supposed to tell you that these are your thoughts. These are explaining and describing you, because the brain is beyond you. No, brain is an apparatus given to you as part of you to work for you, not to be you. It is not you, and you're not the brain. So its uttering and suggestions are crock of shit, nonsense. It's just the way that we've been duped to think that brain is my intellect. I am the brain. So what brain says I am? Bullshit. You didn't have this brain 40,000 years ago, but you lived for millions of years without this brain, and you existed. You survived. You had everything taken care of automatically, instinctively. You would run, you would hunt, you would sleep, you have sex. You had no questions about your gender, nothing. Why? Because you had no ability to think or speak. Words meant nothing. There were no words. Everything was instinctive. 40,000 years ago, as this brain was developed to a point to be able to enhance your abilities, suddenly over the years, we start thinking that brain is my smarts. I'm following the brain. No, you were there first. Brain was added to you. Brain is following you. Brain is never you. You're never brain. It has its own glitches and malfunctions, and that's one of them. OCD, HOCD, doubting, all this shit is the glitch of the brain. You need to help your brain. It's your apparatus, it's your organ. You need to help heal it. You need to help it to rewire it. It's gone haywire. And I've explained in many videos why and what components are involved in this glitch and its malfunction. Having said that, so we've been debate more. In the starting days, I had anxiety. Okay. Now the anxiety is gone. Okay, anxiety is gone. So what? Means nothing. Don't think, oh, because the anxiety is gone, then I have accepted that I am this or I'm that. No. After a while, we no longer take it seriously to think that this is such a threat. It's like if you pass by through a dark alley, first time you're very scared. Something's going to jump at me, an animal, a person's going to kill me or something, because it's dark. So you start whistling to create that kind of a security for yourself. Now you pass by a second time, you're still apprehensive. Third time, now fourth time, you're kind of used to it. So there is no fear. Does that mean that you welcome something jumping at you, or murder come and murder you, or animal jumping? No, it just means that that fear has shown itself that is not a real fear. It is not a real threat. I know I'm still have my own preference, my own thinking, and I know who I am. I want to be continuing who I've always been and want to be, and that's my preference. So I'm kind of a little bit kind of not as worried about it, because it has lost its shock of having any kind of a effect on me, because I'm still who I am, haven't changed. It keeps saying to me, but I still have the same thoughts and interests, and I'm not deviating from it. So the anxiety may be, calm down a little bit. That it's not a sign of anything. That I've accepted that I am this because anxiety is gone. Oh, bullshit. I have videos on these things. Watch it. Don't get me going on these things for so many things that I've already done for you guys. Go search it, watch it. There's 3,000 videos, for heaven's sake. At least, I don't know, 700, 500 of this for OCD and HOCD. Terrifies me. I'm changing. Who says you're changing? You just make a conclusion. What the fuck is wrong with you? Some asshole walks behind you and says something about you, then suddenly you are what the asshole says. Well, the asshole happens to be on your head right now. He's telling you shit. Tell him, fuck off. Simple. Don't need to explain anything. Don't need to suggest, explain, analyze, and nothing. Just say, thank you. Yeah, you're crazy. That's it. Stick with your grounds. Your preference. Protect it. By how? Not paying attention to garbage. It doesn't matter how many people say out there or what you hear from your brain. All opinions are their opinions. Whatever it is. That you don't like orange, you like orange. You don't like golf, you like golf. Or tennis is opinion. You don't listen to other people's opinions. Same thing. You don't listen to your brain. You just find out, hey, there's something wrong with this. Let me fix it. Then you have many outlets and many techniques with the psychologists, psychotherapists, such as Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, and study the work of the brilliant neuroscientists, neurosurgeons, philosophical point of view, scientific point of view. I have them, Dr. Leibert, Dr. Sperry, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owens. They're all there, their work. I've made videos on them. Watch them. And instead of believing what you read or your brain, watch the facts, sciences. I worked my ass off to put all these things for you guys. Every time a thought shows up, you're going to panic. Oh my goodness, I'm changing. My dick is going to fall off now. No. If that was the case, the brain was so powerful, why don't you ask it for something else? Well, could you please have a few beautiful girls with high heels behind my door? I mean, brain is so powerful that it can make things happen, make changes, yeah? Why don't you ask for some $1 million in your bank? I have $1 million in my bank. None of that happens. But when it talks about your gender, suddenly, oh, why, I'm changing. When did you guys become such pussycats? Stand your ground. Protect your dick. God. Is that how you protect your child? If there's a danger of somebody stealing it? These thoughts are just trying to steal something that doesn't belong to them, and they can never steal it if you simply become aware that these are thoughts. They have no power on them all, on themselves, on their own. In 1,000,000 years, no thoughts, images, suggestions can ever become a reality and actuality in real life unless you choose to bring action to what the suggestion is. It cannot become anything or change you in any way, shape, or form. As I said, it wasn't involved when you were being created in your mother's womb. Brain wasn't even functioning, wasn't even completed when your gender and sexuality was already created genetically in your mother's womb. Brain wasn't functional. It took another year after your birth until the brain starts saying things, understanding, start becoming functional. So if the brain wasn't involved when you were being created, your gender was being created, you were being created, how could it be involved in changing you? It can suggest to you, influence you like other assholes in the world that they constantly try to promote their shit, whatever it is, the food they like, they don't like, the sport they like, they don't like, advertise this, promote that. You just go about what it is interesting to you, not what people say. Same thing here. It can suggest whatever you want to suggest. You're supposed to stand your ground and protect your child, protect yourself, protect whatever it is you. Just like you protect your belongings. With the first suggestion, oh, let me have your child, I'll take care of him. The fuck you. You don't believe someone who says, well, your child is actually, likes to eat shit, or likes to play in the mud, or likes to play with the pigs, or likes to ride horses. Well, you don't know. You're not going to trust that. You're going to protect the child and say, listen, I'll take care of my child. Same thing, your brain, your organs is part of you. If the brain suggests you're this, say, well, listen, my genitalia, my gender is me, my identity and mine, my choice and my design, whatever I've been made, I am that and I prefer that. And your suggestion, Mr. Brain, thank you very much, but no thank you. I'm sticking with what I prefer, what I like to be, what I am, and I'll protect that. Not with every suggestion, oh my goodness, I'm changing. With every wind blows you, oh, I'm going with the wind. No. Hold on to something. All right. Stop looking at these posts. Yeah. These thoughts are suggestions that a brain that is in the glitch of OCD catches on to and makes more and more of these thoughts, lets these thoughts constantly percolate. Don't. You know that I have Dr. Schwartz 4-step for OCD and how to treat and how to rewire your brain. So use it. Don't sit down and read garbage and then believe it, because that's what you're reading. You're seeing it and you're saying it and you're reading it and you think, oh, well, I'm being told and that's how it is. How? Where's the credibility of that shit? Where's the credibility of the brain? Brain is a tool. It just gets all this information seeping through from media, from conversations, from people's lifestyle, from books and reading and all this shit that you read. So it creates thoughts, and those thoughts are created, but they're not reality or actuality about you. They're just thoughts. But the brain, when it's in glitch of OCD, believes every negative things that is not in line with his values, but it is afraid of it might become. That's the glitch. That's the disease. They call it the doubting disease, because you're so protective of yourself. Any negative has a possibility to make you feel frightened because it can attack you and you're trying to protect. That's your way of amygdala trying to protect you, becomes overactive and overstimulated and overprotective. And you just have to calm the amygdala down, calm yourself down, and let yourself logically understand it. I can't be changed just because of thought. Okay, I'm thinking I've got 6 fingers. I'm going to be thinking till the cows come home. I'm going to have 6 fingers. It's still going to be 5. I'm going to say, well, one of my fingers is going to fall off. It's going to change to 4 fingers. It'll never happen by thinking. Unless you get a knife and chop it, it won't happen. And you can do it by chopping it, have 4 fingers, but you can never have 6 fingers, even with anything, yeah? Until you just stick another finger, you say, oh, that's 6 fingers, bullshit. So you can see, if it works this way, it should work the other way too. How many gay people have become heterosexual? Because thoughts showed up. Remember, any sexuality has intrusive thoughts. Many gay people think they're straight, and they have these intrusive, to them, that's intrusive. Same thing for us. You're heterosexual, you could have thoughts that are not in line with your value. That's our intrusive thoughts. But how many homosexuals have turned heterosexual? I mean, if it's possible from changing from heterosexual to homosexual, as you say, you read and all that thing, then it should be possible from the other side, homosexual turn to heterosexual. How many times have you heard that? Pretty much nothing. So how come they don't change? If gender is something switchable, why is it not changing from the other one to this one, only to this one to something else? Why not changing to homosexual and then changing from homosexual to heterosexual next year, and then changing again 3 years later, and then changing it? So for fuck's sake, what are you going to be if you don't focus on your preference and your choices and stop listening to the brain's oscillation. Some people are born gay, some people are born heterosexual. That's how it's going to be the rest of their lives. In the middle, all these thoughts are just distraction, bullshit, and glitches and malfunction of the brain. Nothing else. Now, you want to be afraid of it? Well, go be afraid of it. But still doesn't change. It's OCD. You are what you're born. You won't change. It's not like fluid, as some shitheads say. How come I don't turn into, I don't know, a fish? If that is fluid and changeable, then everything about me should be fluid. I should be a fish, or an elephant, or a crocodile, or a horse, or a human being. I mean, where does it stop? Why is it just one thing? My gender. Not my finger. I can't have two dicks. I wouldn't mind it, you know. But well, it's already useless anyhow. I mean, not too many takers. So why would waste it? So you see what I'm saying. I'm trying to be entertaining as the same way as you guys, so you guys can understand and absorb. But there is enough logic and scientific background of all these things that you just suddenly, you're so in tune with what you are, what you want to be, and what you prefer to be. They're so scared to losing, because with everything that we love and we are happy with, there's a natural fear of losing it. You love your house, you're afraid to lose it. You love your girlfriend, you're afraid she leaves you. You love your wife, you're afraid she leaves you. You love your money, you think it might be stolen. Anything you love, there's a fear of losing it. You love yourself, you love your gender, you love your sexuality. With the environment that we are so much talk and so much hoopla and celebration of things that just different, but they celebrate everything else but heterosexuality. So all these thoughts can bring that kind of a suggestion. But that doesn't mean that you are changing because the suggestion's happening. That's the nature of a glitch of the OCD and HOCD brain. And all the rest of the shit that you said here, I might be bi, I might be, all of that is just the product of HOCD, OCD, doubting any thoughts, anything that you prefer and you like and you are trying to protect. You become afraid of losing it, and all these thoughts seep through and try to feed that fear. Otherwise, biologically, you're not changing. You will never change because that's how you were born. And if you're born heterosexual, you're going to remain heterosexual till you die. You're born gay, you're homosexual, you'll remain homosexual until you die. We don't have that control mentally. I can control my genes. Today, I will be a woman. I will wear high heels and date myself. What the fuck you talking about? All right. Life is not that convenient. All right. So hope that will help you out. So in short and long is stop the bullshit. And learn Dr. Schwartz's 4-step and try to help your brain rewire it through neuroplasticity. Learn about brain components of the brain, the malfunction of the signaling system of the brain, understand OCD, HOCD, and all these roles the different components play, amygdala, your fear, and all the rest of it. All right. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com, making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.